This is Billy from Platform Services team. In this video, I want to share with you guys how to monitor your application with Sysdig dashboard. We have talked about SRE monitoring concept, how Sysdig can help with your SRE goal, and how to implement Sysdig in your project set in previous video in BCGov YouTube channel. Here, I will use one of the project that managed by my team as example, and we'll skip how the SOI, SOO, SOA has been considered and defined, but we'll walk through them as our focus today will be on monitoring with a stick dashboard. To learn more about those SRE essential tools and concepts, please visit our documentation site at docs.developer.gov.bc.ca. Setting up Sysdig is a one-time action that provides useful long-term benefit. We recommend that you start monitoring your application as soon as being deployed to OpenShift. Site reliability engineering is an approach to ensure our continuous delivered application run efficiently and reliably by using software engineering and automation solutions. That is to say, one of the responsibilities for SRE is to do automations to restore failed services. And in order to achieve this purpose, having a monitoring system that is able to detect abnormal is the first steps of implementing SRE on our application. If you measure all four golden signals and able to notify a human when one of the signals is problematic, means your service has decent monitoring coverage. The monitoring system should address two questions. What is broken and why? The what broken indicates the symptoms and why indicates the possible cause for the issue. To know the symptoms with Sysdig's help is what I'm intending to share today. Before we continue, there are some SRE tools that I would like to share with you guys, and those are Service Layer Agreement, Service Layer Objective, and Service Layer Indicator. SOA is an agreement that we have with our customers, an incident that may fix 10 different issues on the backend, but from the client side, the only thing that matters is that the system works as it should. The facts should be reflected in your SOA and SOOs. Be sure to limit your promise to high-level, user-facing functionality, and always use plain language in your SOA. Based on this, we can have our SOO. What you want to promise to your customer is deciding how reliable you want your system to be. For example, if your SOA states that your customer will receive a response to each request they make in 300 milliseconds, then perhaps your SOO should be states that your response will be returned in 200 milliseconds. Choose an appropriate SRO is hard. Once we have our SOA, now we know that how can we make our customer happy, SOO is like the bottom line for our promise. Therefore, it is our best interest to catch an issue before it breaches our SOAs so that you have time to fix it. And this promise is often come up with some consequences if we break it. An SOI golden signals including request, latency, availability, error rate, and system output. Those metrics defines what it means for the system to be healthy from the outside. The example application that I want to use to demo in the monitoring dashboard is called Registry. This application can help us to request project's namespace set in desired cluster and also updates project's contact information or request more quotas for namespaces and help us to get other resources access such as Vault, Artifactory, and ACS. Based on the functionality for registry, I have come up with some example SOA and SOO, including web, API, and database should be up at least for 99.5% of the time. Also, database should have a backup every 30 minutes and should be able to retrieving all product information less than 8 seconds. Follow the four golden signal. I also come up with some service layer indicator. And to collecting those information is what Sysdig monitoring dashboard can help us with. So let's navigate to Sysdig monitoring page. After logging, we will see an option on the left-hand side, which is called Dashboard. With Dashboard, one thing that I really recommend to start with is to leveraging something that someone has already been built for you. In the dashboard library, those are all pre-built dashboard, different depends on different scenario that has been built by Sysdig dashboard team, and those are all free for us to use. One of the very useful dashboard that I found is called pod status and performance. You can find your pod availability and also the four golden signal for your application in the namespace. And also you can also specify which namespace you want to actually look at, and the number of arrow per pod. And one of the very useful thing that I found is that you can see that there's probably a little bit higher network error during the time. And did you see the little yellow cube here? If you click that, you will actually shows the Kubernetes events that happens during the time. And I found that it's really helpful for you to debug your application. Another thing Sysdig can do is to send alert when certain events happens. So for example, we notice that for this API pod, it has a significantly high HTTP latency at this time. So that probably means that there's some issue happens during the time. What we can do is we can go click the option button and create alert. And we can see, hey, we don't really like this high latency. What happens is that we can send the notifications. How to set it up is you can go docs, our doc website, and search for Sysdig notifications. And the first result is teaching you how to set up the alert in Sysdig. Go back to the alert. And another thing that you can do is to link a runbook, which is an automation part that we are not going to cover here. But what you can do is you can probably link a runbook saying that if this latency is really high, you probably want to restart the pod or back up your database, something like that. My team also have a template for resources dashboard that you guys can grab and use. Basically, what this dashboard does is it will tell you in your namespace how many of the quotas that you are requesting and how many of the quota you are using. And if you're using more than if you're requesting much more than you need, you probably should stop doing that, because like resources on our platform is sharing between teams. If you request more than you need, which means other people might don't have the resources that they need. So yeah, this dashboard is mainly help us to do resources utilization on our platform. If you find the dashboard is useful, for example, the previous dashboard that I was just about to show you guys, the pod status and performance. If I really like this dashboard and really want to keep that for future use, I can always just click the add to favorite so that I can always find this dashboard in my favorite tab. And if this dashboard doesn't really satisfy your need, what you can do is you can copy to my dashboard and give it a new name. Then after copy to your own dashboard, you can update the query by just clicking the pencil on the right hand side and updating based on your own needs. Another cool thing that I want to share is called Advisor. In this Advisor tab, it will basically teach you more of what is happening in your namespace. So in my example here, I can see that there is an image pool error that is happening in my project. And it is happening in platform registry test. We can view the pod. You can see that, hey, this problem occurred pretty often during the time period. It can be something else, but in my case, it's an image pool error. We can always enable the alert if you feel that this is an issue that happens pretty often and you want to have somebody look at it. And same that you can choose a template based on your alert needs. And also, it really has an advisor that teach you how to fix the issue. So in this case, I think it's probably a field authenticated with a private report registry. So I kind of know what's going on. So let's go to my project, platform registry test, the stateful set, Petroni. Okay, I know that this is down. Let's take a look at its YAML file, and let's look for service account. You can tell that the service account is called registry Petroni test. Let's go to our terminal. We're in the correct namespace. We want to add, so our image is stored in the platform registry tool. And we want to give that service account access to this namespace registry. How we can do it is we can use this command. I will say policy add role to user image pooler to this registry Petroni test. Let's run the command. Let's navigate back to the detail and scale down and scale up. Go to the pod. Wait for a second. And we can see it's now has been solved. It has been successfully pulled the image. All right, that's pretty much everything I want to share with you guys today. To conclude, with Sysdig's help, using its existing dashboard to monitoring your application is not hard. It's just at your fingertip. So start monitoring your application today, and setting up a proper alarms that attach to the dashboard will help you to lower your error budget, and it's also help you to move to your next steps of SRE, which is automation. Thanks for watching.